Alright, so I know what you're thinking. This is just going to be some guy hating on the finals in a YouTube video, and you're going to comment, oh no, the finals isn't dead. Don't worry guys, this is not a video of me hating on the finals. I'm just going to talk about some of the things that I would love to see happen to the finals, because I actually think the finals is a very good game, and probably one of the best FPS games we've had released in quite a long time. But the fact of the matter is, I think the developers kind of fumbled the bag a little bit, especially with some of the missing features at launch. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. We're going to talk about what I would love to see happen with the finals to bring the game back a little bit, because I think we can all look at this chart and agree that this is not the trend we want to see with the game. And yes, when they update the game, it will absolutely bounce back, but I would love to see it stay bounced back and continue to be a game that we play for years to come, especially with some great changes and content additions. So let's jump right into the video. If you enjoyed the content, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you do enjoy watching finals content, I do occasionally stream the game at twitch.tv/enders. That link is the first link in the description. Following that stream is free. And with the plugs out of the way, let's talk about the first thing I would love to see happen with the finals, just to sort of make the game make a little more sense, in my opinion. Let's talk about the name of the game first, the finals. There is literally a ranked mode called Tournament Ranked. And for some reason, the developers decided to release this game, which is clearly competitively leaning and specifically made for competition, in my opinion, without custom lobbies. And I think I heard somewhere that they're going to be adding custom lobbies, but I can't for the life of me understand why would they would fumble the bag so hard by not having custom lobbies in the game at launch, because they've essentially delayed competition in their game and massive interest in their game. Now, they can absolutely get some of this interest back, but I don't think they would have gotten all of the interest back that they would have gotten if custom lobbies were in the game at launch. I think for a game like this that is clearly competitively oriented, you need the ability to allow your players to make competition on their own, even if there aren't any officially held tournaments with prize pools. And again, let's take a look at the Steam player count charts. Let's take a look at just the YouTube views and the Twitch views overall. I think we can all agree as adults, you don't really want to see a downward trend, especially this early after you've released your game. Obviously, there's inevitably going to be a downward trend in player count. That's how all games are, even after they release. But you don't want to see it continue, because I think they have a good product on their hands here, and they could easily make some changes and additions to, well, prevent this FPS game from dying. Because let's face it, guys, a lot of great FPS games have released and just died in the past, like, 3 years. And whether that be because the player base just died off because people got bored, or there wasn't enough content, or the devs made a mistake, there's a bunch of different scenarios. And I think what's happening with the finals is people are getting bored and there isn't enough content. And I think if they released content, which they are obviously going to be doing, the game will see a significant upkick in players. But I would love to see that content be substantial. I want to see multiple new maps. I would love to see some new equipment for light, medium, and heavy. I would love to see some new weapons, maybe some balance changes on some of the lesser used weapon options. And to be completely fair to the developers, they have made actually great balance decisions, in my opinion, with a lot of the overpowered and annoying things in the game so far. For instance, they nerfed invis on the light class, which I think was definitely the right call. They nerfed recon senses, which was at one point so integral to how the game is played, you wouldn't find a medium running heal beam. And generally speaking, I really don't think you want wall hacks to be the meta in your game. And then, of course, they did make some changes to the heavy nuking situation, making it almost impossible to make a nuke with any barrel other than red. With that being said, that's where I want to segue this conversation into. I think even with the barrels being made heavier and the red barrels being the only barrels you can realistically make a nuke with, I still think nuking is a really big problem in this game. And I know what people are going to say, just run APS, just shield it. Well, actually, I've been killed by a nuke through a shield, and APS is very inconsistent, and it just doesn't work sometimes. Now, I know nuking is probably never going to be removed. Hell, it was literally in the trailer of the finals, so I don't think the developers have any intentions of removing the ability to put C4 in a barrel and throw it at people. I think the simple change here is you just need to nerf the damage of C4. You wouldn't really need to nerf the damage of C4 too severely. You would just need to nerf it to the point where maybe it doesn't one-shot a full HP medium. Maybe it leaves them on, I don't know, 35 health or 50 health or something like that. Because even if your heavy hits a great nuke and that medium is 1 HP, if you're a coordinated team, you will still be able to get that kill almost 99 times out of 100 times. The difference is it's not as cheesy, right? It doesn't feel as cheap to the other enemy team. And other than that, I can't really think of anything too pressing to change balance-wise to help the game. Maybe you could say nerf the F-car, maybe you could say buff some of the other weapons to make them compete, or perhaps change some of the abilities so they're more useful, change some cooldowns. These are all fine tweaking things that may or may not be addressed in the future. But overall, I think you do have a solid foundation, and I'm making this video just because I don't want to see the game fizzle out and die because of lack of content and wrong decisions and all of this other stuff that all these other games have suffered from. But the craziest part about all of this is, in the modern FPS game era, even if the developers of this game have a wonderful Season 2 and they add custom lobbies and they get their competition going and they have good content, the game might still just eventually fizzle out and, you know, it might have a steady, really good player count, but it might not reach the levels that it could have just because maybe they weren't fast enough or they didn't have enough content as people expected. And that's the brutal reality of, like, modern gaming in general. It is incredibly hard to have all of the right things at the right time in order to break through and become the new game everyone wants to play. However, I do think the developers have a chance to make the finals a game that sticks around for quite a long time if they make the correct decisions in the next few months and give the players sort of what they're asking for and what the game actually needs. So with that being said, I've been Enders. If you enjoy the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I typically play Battlefield. If you're new here, maybe you just only watch the finals. I typically play Battlefield games. So if you're planning on following the next Battlefield release or 2042 and you want tips and tricks videos and news updates, I am the channel for you. So definitely be sure to turn notifications on. And follow the stream. First link in the description. I stream every single day, typically between 2 and 3 EST. So I definitely hope to see some of you guys there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
I'm meleeing him to death. He's one shot right here.
I got him. I hear invis light. Oh god!